Hey everyone, Chris Stoltz coming at you today from Fan Expo Philadelphia 2025. And we're going to go inside and see what all kinds of Muppet and Henson-related items we can find. Check out this shirt. It's a Transformer shirt from Roosevelt's, but I'm not really that concerned about it because I'm really looking at this animal shirt. Check this out. That's awesome. All kinds of cool animal heads. Got like drumsticks there, got little silhouettes of animal playing. It says louder, louder, loud. Oh, that's really cool. Look at this one. Animal eating the drumsticks. That's just awesome. Over here, this booth has a whole bunch of blind bag items, including the Muppet Black Light Doorables. They asked me $8 a piece. I do have this entire set of already. Shocker of shockers, but very cool to see the Muppet Doorables here, especially the newer blacklight versions. Here we have a whole bunch of Funko Pops, and they have the newer Sesame Street Funko Pops, including Elmo with Tango and Cookie Monster as Alistair Cookie. And they have a whole bunch of blind bag figural bag clips, including these Sesame Street ones, or at least they did. It looks like they're all sold out. I do have a few of these already, but man, glad to see that these are selling out. That's awesome. Here's some more Funko Pops, including the new Flocked Animal. Check that out, the limited edition Flocked Animal. Asking $125. Thankfully, I already have that in my collection, so I don't need to pick that up. Here we have even more Funko Pops, including the Sesame Street Abby-Cadabby Pop and another Elmo and Tango Pop. Over here we have some of the more expensive Grail Pops, and they have the Elmo with Rocco, which I like to call Consternated Elmo. Elmo with that kind of funky face. They're asking $75 on this. It's, again, a limited edition. It was 2024 Summer Convention exclusive. That's awesome. Again, do already have this in my collection, but awesome to see. Here we have even more Funko Pops, and we have the Hoggle Labyrinth Pop. That's neat. And the Count Pop. Wow, they're asking $100 for that. I think I have that. I hope I have that, because I definitely don't want to pay $100. That's a lot of zeros for the Count to count. And over here we have the Baby Animal Pop from Muppets Mayhem. Here we have a whole bunch of patches. They have a Kermit patch down here. That's really cool. And a whole bunch of Sesame Street patches over here as well. Here we have even more Funko Pops. And way up top here, on the top of this stack, is a Baby Sinclair Pop. Looks like it's signed by Kevin Clash. It says, "Not the Mama." Here's some more signed Funko Pops, including a couple signed by Steve Whitmire, like the Muppet Christmas Carol Bob Cratchit, the Wembley from Fraggle Rock, and the Gonzo and Rizzo from Muppet Christmas Carol. And this one of Splinter, signed by Kevin Clash. Here we have even more Funko Pops, and this booth has the Sesame Street Big Bird Funko Pop, as well as the Comic-Con exclusive Snuffleupagus that's flocked. And here we have the non-flocked Funko Pop of Animal playing the drums. This one being a little more reasonably priced at only $30 because it's not the flocked exclusive. Here we have a whole bunch of Ultimate NECA action figures, including the NECA Bert figure. These are so well done. I love how the boxes look like the old Sesame Street library. Check out the detail on these. Absolutely incredible. So glad to see Bert here. Over here at this poster stand, they have a whole bunch of Brian Froud prints. Check these out. This Queen, Bridget the Bright, the Wild Wood, Something Rich and Strange, Hannah's Garden, the Woodwife, and Gwen Farr, something like that. That's really it. All appear to be signed by Brian Froud too. There's a couple more over here of the same prints. These are just really nicely done. Over here we have a whole bunch of Blockies figures. There's a whole bunch of Transformers ones, and down here we have the Sesame Street Blockies. I just picked up a couple of these, and now I can see the rest of the old ones I don't have. And after I looked through the pile back here, I did find a couple others, including Bert, Ernie, and the Count. Those are awesome. Check out these knockers. Of course, I mean the Labyrinth knockers. That's really cool. They're listed as never-ending story, but those are the Labyrinth knockers. That's really neat. And over here in the guest area, we have Morgana Ignis.
Hello, how we doing?
And of course, you are known for voiceovers, but in the Henson world.
Ironically, I am known in all of these things for all voice but no body. And these ones, I'm all body and no voice. I'm the body of Ned, so I was inside and I was in his spine, inside of his body there. And then Edward the Werewolf, I was inside of the costume with Drew Massey handling the face. So, collaborative Henson projects, both of these.
Over in the Artist Alley, check out this booth, tealcup.com. They have all kinds of enamel pins and prints, and they got this interesting Kermit one. It's like Kermit with a seatbelt, driving along, and it says, bruh. It's a Kermit bruh. You got them as a pin or as a print. All kinds of bruhness. Over here we have Jody Ray Charity. And check out this Electric Mayhem print. We got Dr. Teeth Animal Zoot, Floyd and Janice. That's awesome. You get it as a poster, get it as a sticker. I mean, you get it on all kinds of cool stuff. That is just awesome. Here we have Stephanie Williams, who wrote issue number 2 of the Sesame Street comic, Bert and Ernie's Spring Cleaning. Here she is right here. Oh my goodness. How was your experience working with these? I mean, you must have loved it.
It was a dream come true. Like, what kid didn't grow up watching Sesame Street? Hopefully more kids will, and we'll keep public broadcasting going. But listen, if you haven't yet, please pick up these Sesame Street comics. Not only are they just good for kids, but you too as an adult, because it's Sesame Street.
Lisa V's booth, and she has a whole bunch of Kermit prints. Check out all these different Kermit expressions on this print. There's a Kermit expression lanyard. There's a Kermit playing his banjo in a lily pads print. There's also this print of Kermit in the cowboy outfit from the finale of the Muppet movie. Just really, really cool stuff. They were actually out of Kermit stickers, but they gave me this awesome animal sticker. Check this thing out. It's Animal just rocking out. He's just like ready and raring to go. You can see him hanging out somewhere where he's not supposed to be. Maybe on a clothes hook or something like they have in Muppet Family Christmas. But he's raring to go. Don't get him started. We've seen a lot of cosplay today. This is our first Jim Henson-related cosplay. Obviously, it's Sarah from Labyrinth. I don't think you're the Goblin King, though. Are you one of the Labyrinth citizens we had not seen yet?
Yeah, one of the citizens I'm hanging out with today.
All right. A furry Labyrinth-esque critter that we've, just happened to see here at the show. That's very cool. I love your outfit, love your dress. Did you make this yourself?
I had it commissioned.
Very, very cool. Looks spot on. Now we just need a Goblin King to go with you.
Exactly.
I'm over here at Guy Gilchrist's booth, and look who I see.
Oh my goodness, it's Bugs Bunny.
And John Popovich, and not Bob Clampett. I wanted Bob Clampett.
Well, I think Christopher Lloyd might have to help you out with that. Time travel.
That's true. He is no longer with us.
That's right. He's right, yeah.
But John is. So
I'm here, yes.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
And this is not a Muppet. It's a puppet. It's not a Muppet.
Not a Muppet.
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, Bugs Bunny's cool.
Sure.
It would have been cooler if it was a Muppet, though, John.
I don't have to say, you have problems with rabbits? You don't. I can tell.
I like bunnies. I like Bean Bunny, Bebop Bunny, Twitch Bunny, great Grandma Bunny.
Did you practice that?
I did not. All up here, baby. All up here.
Of course.
I think I got all the greats in there. It's a lot. Oh, and the Dad Bunny, all those bunnies. Bebop, the diddly dog Bop. That was always my favorite bunny.
Of course, yeah.
Bugs is,
Very solid.
he's up there. He's up there.
Of course.
I mentioned we're at Guy Gilchrist's booth, who we're going to talk to in a little bit. But first, here's Guy with a drawing demonstration.
Okay, here we go. See, the magnetic triangle is how you focus the eyes. You find where the nose would be, and then we follow the arc, okay, of the foam.
Sure.
Okay? And so that's going to bring the eyes a little bit cross-eyed, right? And we're tweaking them this way.
Yeah.
That makes them warmer, see? That's why all Muppets are great. I took this with me everywhere I ever went. See, Disney is what's called straight up.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Because it doesn't follow the path, the eyes don't follow the path,
Yeah.
and we're not tweaking inward. God bless Carol. I miss Carol. Always Carol. Always Carol. Hey. Dom. Welcome to the family. Now scram. Love.
So perfect. Thank you.
Dom, you're telling me that you actually work at Sesame Street.
I do.
You're the man on the street.
I am.
You actually hang out with that dude right there.
Oscar, yes. Oh yeah. That's the guy.
So give me a little pointer. If you want to get on his good side, how do you get on Oscar's good side? Is there a secret?
Wow. Where do you begin? You could go the classic way. Get him an old piano, broken down old piano. Billy Joel gave him one too.
Give him gifts that are already pre-broken and you're already on the way, huh?
Absolutely.
So now we have Guy, and he has some original artwork from the Muppet comic strips here. And can you tell me, the process behind this?
This whole time I've been thinking about how to prank you on this. And now I'm going soft, and I think I might actually tell you stuff.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So anyway, this is the size that we would do a Sunday page.
These are the Sunday ones.
This is the Sunday page, right. Like a daily, right, because a daily is just this, right? It would be just sort of like one of these tiers, but you see this is 3 tiers. Also, this has the logo. It was done in a very specific way so that you could run it this way or you could stack it this way. And this is these are called drop panels. This entire thing could be dropped, but this joke is still good. So you would have to write something that wasn't related to the strip, but that could be either run or eliminated. This is brush and ink. The only place that there's any pen is, of course, doing the lettering. And we would do these in black and white, and then we have a vellum. And you would lay the vellum over, and then we would color with markers on the vellum all of the different colors that you are going to need. And there was an international, and it's still in use today, an international color guide where this yellow and this blue makes green, right? So Kermit, for instance, I think it's Y2B3, still in my head after 45 years. So you would color the whole thing with the vellum, and then this entire thing would be delivered to King Features in New York. They would take a photograph of it with a camera on a tripod that used as its emollient, the film was silver. So it would be called a silver print. And from that silver print would come the proof sheet of the black and white that would be wired, transferred all around the world so it could be translated immediately. And then that color key that we had, you ever seen the different metal plates of 3 and 4 color process printing? Yes. So whatever we told them to do, that would be transferred into a metal plate. And you would have yellow, red, or cyan. And from those 3 colors, you would create everything, the browns, the blues, the purples, the flesh colors, and everything would come from those different colors. And then those plates would then be attached to the black plate, and that's how you made a Sunday page. And where our strip was different than every other strip in the history of comics. So it came out on April 25th of 1982, right? So normally, with every other comic that was ever printed, this would come out in the United States on this day, and then 2 weeks later, it'd be translated into French and Spanish. And then it would be sold in a big stack as you get 3 or 4 or 5 months worth to Scandinavia, Asia, Australia, etc., etc. But Jim said, no, the Muppets don't belong to America, they belong to the world. And so instead of being 8 weeks up or 12 weeks up like most people, I had to be a year in advance. Because Jim wanted this to be read by everyone in the world in every language on the same day. That was Jim's, vision, and I just never slept. I actually got about 2 years worth experience in my very first year, because when Jim decided that, then it changed everything. Then, you see, a couple of years later, so this is huge. This is an entire page, an entire piece of paper that we would buy from the mill or from the store. And then, as the years went on, printers got better, copiers. I bought a Ricoh copier that Mort Walker told me about, and we hired a special technician to come in for like $1,000 and set all the presets correct. Then I could do the Sunday pages smaller because I could get the line quality that I wanted. And that was so important because, believe it or not, Chris, if this had gotten lost in the mail, and one time 3 of these did, they got somewhere lost in Jersey, and they were under some conveyor belt. Well, King Features would have me do 3 more Sunday pages this size immediately. We were charged $1 a newspaper per half day for being late, so you just were never late. If you have 660 papers and they're charging you $2 a day, you're not late. So if the mail took 3 of these away or something, I would just stay up day and night and day and night and day and night and do 3 new ones and get them in. So when we found out that we could make copies that would work at home, that was such a big thrill, for all of us. But yeah, this was Jim especially, and we of course we loved it when we were doing this big, because it looked so nice on a wall. I remember hand coloring some of these for Jim and his family, and for Al Gottesman, for David Laser, for Michael, for Jane Leventhal, for the people that I worked with at Henson.
It's just incredible. I mean, there's artwork and then there's artwork, right? People take newspaper comic strips for granted. You read it, you throw it away. These came out with books.
Oh, yeah.
And I always loved, especially Gonzo's hands and all the little details that made them look like they had fur still. They had all these details. It was just incredible.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that was the whole idea. When I met Jim, I've told the story, you know it really well, but they may not. When I met Jim for the first time and he was talking about my art, and he said, well, some of these drawings are really, really good, and some of these are great, but we don't want good, and we don't want great, we want wonderful. And I'm like, how am I going to draw wonderful? I'm not saying that to Jim, but I'm like wonderful. And then he held up his hand, and he introduced me to Kermit, and he was talking as Kermit and pretending Piggy was coming in the room and all of that, and immediately I understood. You see, I was used to, okay, I'm going to draw Mickey Mouse in the style of Freddie Moore. I'm going to draw Bugs Bunny in Chuck Jones' style or Robert McKim's style. But that's taking a 2-dimensional character and then processing that and then putting that out as a 2-dimensional character. As soon as Jim held his hand up, I realized what he meant. They're real, you see? They have color. They have voices. They have guest stars. They have music, lights, camera, Muppets. It's Muppetational, celebrational, right? And how was I going to do all of that? The idea was, don't draw the puppet. Draw the life that comes from the puppet. Jim didn't tell me any of that. All he said was, we want wonderful. And then I had to realize it was this life, this joy that was in that hand and in the hands and in the minds and the hearts of everyone, and that you loved and that I loved. And how was I going to take that incredible symphony and sort of put it into a telephone booth and make it work? And that was my charge. That was what Jim was charging me with to do. And that was his way of saying, we want wonderful.
Well, these are wonderful. We're so glad that you're here. Everyone that's been here has been saying how wonderful these drawings are. So I think that's
Makes
a great
me
word.
happy, man.
Yeah, that's the right word. The word is wonderful, and I think you've obviously achieved that.
Well, you know, when Jim tells you to do something, you do it. You figure it out, man. He's Jim. And you know, we do these shows and everything because it's very important, of course, that Jim's characters are known and continue and are loved. But what I really truly want is for people to remember Jim's character, his spirit, his philosophies. Because Muppet kids are unlike everybody else. You could be a Disney kid or a Marvel kid or whatever, and you like almost all of it, but there's something maybe, I don't like it that much. If you're a Muppet kid, you absolutely love every single thing that Jim ever did. And that's because you love the man, and not only the man, but the team that he put around him that you love so much. It's all because we just loved him. And he was so inspirational in every way. His work ethic, his philosophy, his managing style, his direction, the respect and the love and the trust that he gave you. And that heart is what comes through in every Jim Henson project. And that's why you Muppet kids are so much different than any other fandom. It all comes from Jim's heart, you know. And that's why we're here, you know. That's why I bring the boys out. And of course, Piggy's not out because number one, she gets 80% of everything that I make, and we're trying to keep that under the table. And the other thing is, you know, 24 lavender luggages. No one wants to deal with that.
You get a packed light for these things.
I mean, really. We got duffel bags, man.
All right, so now obviously I am back here in the MuppetStuff Museum. I want to thank Morgana Ignis for signing photos from the curious creations of Christine McConnell and Earth to Ned. And of course to Guy Gilchrist for taking the time to speak with us and for signing so many items from my collection, including the Muppet Show on Tour pennant, which I found out he did the artwork for in about a day. It was a rush job. They made him do this super quickly. That is why some of the characters are wearing Christmas attire. He based them off of a Christmas comic strip he did. So that's why if you see Statler and Waldorf, Gonzo, Miss Piggy, Kermit are wearing kind of different outfits than they usually do. And that's because they're based on a comic strip that Guy Gilchrist did where they're wearing Christmas attire because he had no time to do this. So that is why the mystery has been solved. In case anyone was wondering, he also signed this box of Muppet Babies comic strip bubble bath packets put out by Avon in 1986, as well as this Muppet Babies arm sling put out by Quantasia in 1985. This Baby Miss Piggy toothbrush put out by Oral-B in 1985. The box for the Muppet Babies board game Colorful Game of Dreams Come True, released by Milton Bradley in 1985. And this extremely rare Doozer PVC figure, still mint in the box, put out by Hasbro, also in 1985. Not only that, he was generous enough to sign an 8x10 photo for my autograph wall, as well as draw a Dr. Teeth on my badge. Because as you all should know, Dr. Teeth is my favorite Muppet. So Guy said, you just want Dr. Teeth on here, don't you? I said, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. That was just an added bonus that I'm just super, super happy about. That's going to do it for this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, and I'll see you next time.
So fantastic.